We've all seen them, the glossy sustainability reports from major corporations filled with impressive charts and positive numbers. They tell a story of progress, of commitment. But a nagging question often remains. How do we know if this is the whole story? How do we trust that the most important information isn't what's in the report, but what's been left out? The traditional way of checking these reports, a process called assurance, often comes in far too late. It's like calling an editor after the book has already been published. Management has already decided what's important, what's material. They've drawn the boundaries, framed the narrative, and locked it all in. The assurer's job is just to check the math. But the most critical decisions, what to include and what to hide, happen before they even walk in the door. To build real trust, we need a fundamental shift. First, the assurance engagement has to move forward. The independent challenger needs to be in the room before the story is written, questioning those foundational decisions about what truly matters. Not just a facilitator, but a critical voice asking the hard questions when it can still make a difference. Second, we need to look beyond the data. Most assurance is a numbers exercise, verifying calculations, checking methodologies. That's useful, but it misses the point. Real trust comes from the systems behind the numbers. Does the board have real oversight, or are they just seeing a polished presentation? Are executives actually incentivized to meet these long-term climate goals, or does their bonus depend on next quarter's profits? When a target is missed, does anyone face real accountability? You can't find those answers in a spreadsheet. Trust is in the system, not just the figures. Third, we have to break free from the annual report cycle. The world doesn't operate in yearly snapshots. A regulatory investigation, a supply chain disaster, a major governance failure, these things don't wait for December. Assurance can't either. This doesn't mean constant public reporting. It means a live, continuous relationship, monitoring a company's trajectory against its promises throughout the year, tracking when a key assumption changes, like when a net zero plan is suddenly knocked off course. It's about vigilance, not just a periodic review. And this brings us to the final and perhaps most uncomfortable shift. We have to assure the narrative, not just the numbers. The most sophisticated form of corporate deception isn't about faking the data. It's about using perfectly accurate data to create a systematically misleading impression. It's picking the one glowing case study while ignoring dozens of failures. Standard assurance checks the numbers in that case study and gives it a pass, completely missing the larger deception. Trust-centered assurance must be willing to step back and ask a tougher question. Does the entire report, from the CEO's letter to the strategic framing, fairly reflect where this company actually is? Would a reasonable person walk away with an accurate understanding of its true trajectory? It's a much harder conversation, but it's the only one that can turn a glossy marketing document into a genuine instrument of trust.